This is my ticketing system project, a simplified replica of osTicket. osTicket is a open source help desk tool used for managing support requests. And in order for me to build this application, I had to document my experience using osTicket. So once I had a solid understanding of the features, I was able to reverse engineer it. Let's go ahead and actually run this project. To start off, when you first try to run the program, it's telling you to log in. You have the option to either switch the user or pick a user. In this case, since we don't have a user yet, we got to pick anything. So let's pick Sam. And now we are operating this as Sam. Now this is where I took huge inspiration from osTicket. These are like the main tabs I recall using a lot in osTicket, so I tried to also implement that in my project. Depending on what number you pick, that's the action you'll end up doing. Let's go ahead and look at any tickets we have. So this is a tickets tab. This is all the tickets that are currently opened, and you have the actions to either claim, see a ticket, or access a ticket. Let's go ahead and claim a ticket. We have to enter the ID of the ticket we want to claim. Let's go ahead and claim the second one. And now, as you see here, the ticket is now assigned to Sam Patel, who we're currently operating as. Now let's go ahead and actually access that ticket and work on it with ID 2. Now that we're inside ticket 2, these are the actions we can do. We can add notes, we can update the status, or we can assign or escalate this to another agent. Let's pretend like we're working on it and let's add some notes to it. So yes, let's go ahead and add some notes. Let's just pretend like we wrote a note saying that the user forgot their email password. So once we press enter, now that's going to be part of the internal notes for everyone to see. So let's say for whatever reason, Sam isn't able to change the user's email password. Let's say that only admin is able to do that. Let's go ahead and assign and escalate to another agent, which is action number 3. Now we have the option to pick who we want to assign it to, and in this case is give it to the admin. So now we're back into ticket 2 info, and as you can see here, it's now assigned to admin. Go back up one, and now also you see here that back then it used to be assigned to Sam, and now it's assigned to admin. Now let's quickly switch users and go to admin, try to complete this workflow. So let's go back up a level, and this main page, let's go ahead and switch agents, and this time let's become the admin. So now we're operating as the admin. Let's go back to the tickets, and let's go ahead and see what specific tickets correspond to the admin. Action number 2, which is see my tickets. So this is a more granular or more succinct way to look at the tickets that correspond to you. In this case, it's pretty evident that ticket with ID 2 is the one that we should work on. Let's access that ticket. So as admin, I want to see why it was escalated to me. Let's go ahead and look at the internal notes. And then we see here from Sam Patel that the user forgot their email password. So now as admin, we know what we have to do. So let's pretend that we ended up changing the email password and everything ended up working. We can go ahead and resolve it, which is action number 2. Since the ticket is no longer open, it's no longer going to appear in the general tickets tab anymore. So that's sort of like the general workflow of how the tickets operate. Let's go ahead and access another tab. We just came from the tickets. We also have tasks, knowledge base, and dashboard. Tasks operates similar to tickets. So the difference between a task and a ticket is that a task is something that's given in between departments and it's more like internal, while tickets is something that's given by the user and clients, right? So the tasks tab operates the same as the tickets tab. You're able to claim a task, see which tasks correspond to you. You're able to access / work on a task. It also has a similar workflow where you're able to assign it to another user. So essentially it's the same functionality as tickets, except that it's more internal. So now let's quickly go over the knowledge base. A knowledge base article is essentially a way to respond to frequently asked questions or problems that users frequently have. Let's say you forget something important when trying to solve that problem. A knowledge base article will help you walk you through step by step on how you would go about approaching this. The reason why you would want to create one is so you don't have to remember every single time when you run into that same problem. Here you can create an article, you can read an article by ID, or you can delete an article. Let's go ahead and read an article that already exists. Which article? Let's say article with ID 1, and then here a quote-unquote article on how to reset your password appears. In case I run into this problem again, I'll have this article to sort of base my judgment off. Let's quickly create an article. So let's say I want to create an article on how to delete my account, and then at this point I would fill out the article. So I quickly created like a really small article, and now that article for how to delete your account now appears in the knowledge base. Okay, so I went back up a level, and now I want to go over what the dashboard is. It's a very simple UI, but essentially it just gives you like a general overview of the progress you've done so far. It goes over how much you created, how much tickets you've resolved, how much you've deleted, how much you've opened, and just gives you a general understanding of how you're progressing throughout the week. So yeah, that's the gist of my ticketing system project that I worked on. The idea behind this project is by having a solid understanding of the main features that ticketing systems have. No matter which ticketing system a company has, I should be able to adapt to it because they're very similar in features. And this entire project is going to be posted in my GitHub account. Thank you for watching.